Right, so this is the first episode of Hot Topics where we get an athlete or someone in the track and field space and we get them on and speak about sort of I don't want to say hot topics all the time, so I'm trying to think of a different description, but that's basically what it is, just like the hot topics of the week in track and field and basically see what they have to say. Some of these are, a few of these are a bit controversial, so it's up to our guest who can introduce themselves in a second to navigate them and however they want to speak about them. I'm not going to push it, but it's just bite-sized conversations about hot topics in track and field. So would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is Cole Hocker. Coming to you from Eugene, Oregon. Yeah.
God, I wish I had Cole Hocker.
Me too, man. You'd be a way better guest than me. And we're recording this episode of Hot Topics from a Hot Topic store in America. Cooper. This thing, it's called Hot Topics. I was like, we're recording it live from a Hot Topic in America. I was like, it's an emo teen store, yada yada. He's like, out of everyone in the NCAA, who do you think is most likely to talk at drop at Hot Topic? I said Taryn O'Neill.
Oh my God, easy.
Easy.
That's not even a question. Guy's side.
Who's like
Michael Kosha.
Maybe I'm trying to think of who's like a Michael Verneau.
For sure, Michael Verneau. Who's the most relevant one to shop at Hot Topic?
Isai Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Or Everett.
Everett shops at Spencer.
Yeah, or Journeys. They have all three of those at the Valley River Center.
So before you added that addition, the first hot topic I've got is Bowerman Track Club departures. Obviously, we've had Sinclair Johnson, Gwen Jorgensen, Colleen Quigley, and I'm not sure if you're the same as me and you get DMs all the time from random people saying, "Oh, have you heard this?" So it's like rumoured more departures. Where do you stand on that? Do you think they're leaving because of what happened with the Shelby situation? And also, where do you think the future is for Bowerman Track Club?
I think it's impossible for us to know. I think, it's different for probably everybody. Like, you look at Gwen Jorgensen, it's like, maybe she wanted to focus more on triathlons. Maybe Colleen Quigley really did want to get more money for her brand. Maybe Sinclair wanted a different coach. I think that it's, all those reasons could be true, but then it's also, we could play into the thing where it's a dirty track club and everyone's leaving because they don't want to take their drugs. But yeah, I don't know if we'll ever know. But I think it is interesting, and I think they'll still continue to get people because it is Bowerman Track Club and they have a lot of Nike support behind them. But yeah, we'll see.
It is an interesting one because you sort of look at the stigma. Like the reason, obviously, our Oregon project got disbanded was because of what happened with Alberto Salazar. Even though there was more than one coach at the Oregon project, it just disappeared.
Wasn't Pete Julian an Oregon project coach?
Pete Julian, Jerry Schumacher was also an Oregon project coach at one point as well, and now he's a Bowerman coach. So it's interesting to see what happens because with the stigma, I think Nike don't want to have any brand isn't squeaky clean, isn't always having certain...
Well, they're failing at that so far.
So we'll have to wait and see. It's obviously Olympic years past, so it's normally where new contracts get negotiated. I think it's going to be an interesting one because, like you really call them like the A-list running team along with NM running team. Exactly how Oregon project was. It's an interesting one. I just have to wait and see what happens, like you said, because it's obviously there's still the Shelby stuff going on as well. I think more appeals. So yeah.
She's banned.
It's so strange. It's such a strange situation because it's like they come out.
Like if she still is like, I'm gonna keep in shape in case I get that knock on the door that says I'm reinstated.
To be honest, for her, I hope that happens. I hope they come out and say, "Oh, she's actually innocent." That'd be great.
That would be cool. It would be cool. It'd also be polarizing. Next, everyone's like pointing to being like liar, liar, pants on fire, like you're capping Shalane Flanagan and Jerry Schumacher, like saying it's beyond her, like beyond her character to cheat and all this stuff. And it's like, I guess we'll never know. And that's part of the thing where I think a lot of people are so wrapped up in it, especially when it first happened. And it's like, if it happened, it happened. If not my problem. I still wake up every day and go about my life doing the exact same thing. Obviously for them, that's not the case, but you know, it is what it is.
We obviously have seen the new Pete Julian group get marketed for like a day, and then nothing's come of it since. So you've got that group, and you've also got a group what was spoken about on a podcast, somewhat related to Oregon University. What are your thoughts on those two groups? First of all, Pete Julian's group with the likes of Brazier, hopefully Craig Engels if he doesn't retire, and also this other group, what's a bit of a mystery. If you can't,
I'll say for the Pete Julian group, man, I think it's like, I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. It seems like they're adding a decent amount of people. I think Donovan Brazier also is going to come back and win a gold medal at Worlds next year. I think a lot of people are counting him out, but I think, you know, that's just the way he crumbles that he didn't make the team. Like you have, you know, there's great ups in the sport and there's also deep lows. And it's just, like I said, the way the cookie crumbles, I think he's resilient enough to make it through. I'm rooting for him, man. I think he's a great guy. And he's like the greatest American 800 runner of all time. He'll be back for sure. And then, I mean, with Sinclair, I mean, she's just like essentially be like getting traded from the Mets to the Yankees. You're just walking down across the city. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And then they signed Ella Donahue, who's from Portland recently. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else did they sign. I think Craig also is not going to quit pro running. But you know, I could be wrong, but I don't know. I at least would like to think that he wouldn't. But who else did they sign?
I'm not 100% sure. I know they've already got like high caliber of athletes we don't even know about. Like they've got a range. So they've got the Japanese marathon runner, Osaka, who actually might have just retired actually, but even still, they've got quite a big range there. So it is interesting because you sort of see the Oregon groups.
Yeah, Raven Rogers too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the thing Mo going there?
That'd be exciting. I don't know. Maybe that is a hot topic in itself.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
But yeah, it is interesting. I think, I don't know, it'll be cool to see. And then I guess you said that Oregon related group, consider the source of where you heard it from. And I haven't heard anything about it. So
on a hypothetical scenario, because I'm talking about Cole Hocker going pro here, obviously you've not told me anything because you've not heard anything. In my eyes, it would always make sense for him to have the same coach because it works so well.
I think I was, you know, an athlete in that position who had such a big success with a certain coach, you'd want to stay with them. But, you know, I think the cards will fall, like they're going to fall where they fall, and you know, where he goes. I mean, he's his own man. He makes his own decisions. And I mean, it's gotten him where he's gotten to so far. So obviously he's doing something right. And I don't know, I think he'll make the right decision for himself when it comes around. And yeah.
And while we're on the subject of the NCAA's cross country season, Oregon last season obviously committed to indoors. This season, because of the schedule, they can do outdoors. And I'm only saying Oregon specifically because obviously you're there. Sort of individual titles on the men's and women's side, and also the team titles. Do you have any favourites for that going forward, or you just think it's too soon to call?
I think it's a little too soon to call, but I think for the is Connor Mance running cross country? Yeah, he is. I think obviously it'd be probably between him, Cooper, Adrian Wildshut from, that's how you say his last name, the kid from Florida State. Who else? I mean, there's probably a multitude of guys who, you know, who can show up when it counts. Isai Rodriguez on Oklahoma State. There's no lack of talent within the field this year. And girls, I really don't know enough about, to be honest. I don't want to make a assumption that ends up being super wrong. But yeah, I think for a team, you got to look at NAU, obviously, like they're so dominant. But I think Oklahoma State actually has a really good chance to win. They're rolling deep. They actually have a really good chance to win too. Who else? There was another team that was kind of up there. I don't remember who it was, but yeah. Notre Dame, obviously, dude. They're freaking really good. But yeah, I'd probably say those three teams are the ones I have up there. You know, can't say don't count out Oregon. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I think they could podium for sure, get top 4. You surprise some people. Don't sleep on Reed Brown. Do not count Reed Brown out. He's going to have a monster year. That's all I'm saying. Also, shout out Aaron. He's going to have a crazy year too. And just all those guys are going to do well. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
If Reed Brown comes back top 15, I'll get a tattoo of his face on my chest.
Well, he's coming back. Reed Brown, top 15. Alfie's getting a tattoo of his face. Reed gets top 15. Alfie's getting a tat of his face. What if Cooper wins?
He can decide.
He said you can decide. Yeah. You might have messed up, man. You might have messed up with it.
Anyway, the actual extra segment I did have was the athlete special. He has left the Brooks Beast. And since we're starting to see like the resurgence of athlete special uploading again, you've got Zach Levet uploading again. What do you think the best decision for the athlete special is moving forward?
I think I watched his video, the last ride video, and I think having his dad as his coach, his dad probably knows him better than anybody. And I think, his dad was also, I don't know what his times are, but I recall, at least from hearing from Spencer, when he's a fairly successful runner, better than the average person. I think that's probably the best move for Spence. I think his dad's going to get him right, put him through that athlete special boot camp. And hopefully he gets a couple PRs out of it. I'd like to see him succeed, man. I think it'd be super cool to see him, run as fast as he wants to. I also think, just watching that video and hearing his dad talk about his strengths and weaknesses, and just being kind of really open and honest about it. I think I was watching, I was like, this MF is spitting. Like he knows what's up. He knows his son. I think he's going to get him right. The comeback.
No, yeah, I agree. Hopefully he goes back to those iconic athlete special videos because, what was it, 2018? Zach Levitin at the athlete special loading, like pretty much daily. It was a
I didn't
time
running videos on YouTube until like last year. But so I used to think the athlete special was not white. Cooper and Reed would talk about him, and I don't know why. I thought it was like, just didn't think it was Spencer. Thought it looked completely different than him. And then I was like, this is the guy you guys watch? Like, damn, it's not what I thought he looked like.
It's almost like everyone thinking Ben Crawford was Cooper Teare.
Yeah, what it's like. I think people are beyond that now, hopefully.
Thank you for watching or listening, depending on what you're watching this on. And hopefully see you soon for another episode. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like and do whatever. And yeah, thank you for listening, watching and subscribing.